Hi, welcome to the White Guy Show. I'm Whitey, and today I'm going to review the film Gattaca, which came out in 1997. And it takes place in the near future, the non-specific near future from 1997, so probably like now. And in the film, scientists have found a way to genetically modify human beings. They take the best DNA from a sperm and the best DNA from an egg, combine them together to make the best you that you can be. And the film begins right as this technology is kind of taking hold, I suppose. And so you have, I forget the lady's name, but Elias Kiotis, I think his name. You'll know him as the dude from Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles. He's a young man, and he's with his missus, and they make a baby. And that baby, but the missus, as this new technology, I suppose you could call it, is coming about, she wants to have the baby the normal way because of her religious. It's implied because of her religious belief. So they pump out Ethan Hawke's character, whose name I even forget. But Ethan Hawke's character, he's born by normal birth, the way we are. But his younger brother, 2 years younger than he, is born through this new process. And his parents coddle him, Ethan Hawke, that is, because they think he's weak. And then society kind of starts to develop that thing as well. So they look at your DNA, your A's and T's, your C's and G's, your genetic sequencing, and your double helix DNA. And they draw all these conclusions that, if your DNA suggests you're going to die at 30 something years old of heart disease, that's just going to happen, which is dumb because that's not the way DNA works. Um, you know, a lot of people have a very oversimplified understanding of your genes, and apparently the people made this movie did too. But the idea in the film is that that's incorrect. So Ethan Hawke is supposed to die at 30 something heart disease. He outlives it, all this stuff. But Ethan Hawke grows up in a society that won't accept him or allow him to be that which he is capable, because he was born by the old school. And everybody who was born the old normal way of doing things is more and more beginning to be seen as inferior and ultimately regulated into a second class of just janitors and stuff like that. And then if you're born the new way of doing things, the genetically modified way of doing things, bickety bam, you get to be an astronaut or something because you're just superior. So there's parallels to the Holocaust, Nazi Germany, and you're developing a master society, a master race, and then a lesser society. And Ethan Hawke is part of that lesser society, where his brother, who's born with the new way of doing things, who's 2 years younger than him, gets to be part of the elite society because of how he was born, not because of who he is as a person. So Ethan Hawke, growing up in all this, he wants to be an astronaut. Basically, instead of there being NASA, it's called Gattaca. Hence the title of the film. Oh my God, is that probably Taco Bell? It probably is Taco Bell. So yeah, I'm not in the master race. Damn. So anyway, Ethan Hawke is frustrated because he can't go anywhere because I was born, and so he decides to seek out Tony Shalhoub, who plays a sketchy dude. That's really all we know about him. And Tony Shalhoub will take people who are born the old way and steal an identity, so that, kind of like illegal aliens stealing your social security card, of somebody who was born the elite way. And Ethan Hawke is the guy whose identity they're going to steal, only he's working with them. So I'm sorry, Jude Law. Jude Law is working with him, and Jude Law plays a guy who's English and was in some kind of accident. He's in a wheelchair. I imagine there was, extreme vertebrae damage because he's in a wheelchair, even though they can do all this other stuff. And so Ethan Hawke is going to steal Jude Law's identity as a guy born the right way, um, so he can get into Gattaca, and then Jude Law gets his cut, gets his money. For whatever reason, the logic of the film, they have to live in the same place. Maybe this matters for the process, I don't know. So, and they don't, enemies become friends become enemies. They don't get along at first. Jude Law doesn't like Ethan Hawke, but they start growing on each other. Tony Shalhoub is there for a little while, gives a nice little performance, and then F's off to F off Phil. And then Ethan Hawke gets into Gattaca, where he meets Uma Thurman, and they fall in love skis. And Uma also has has a heart defect of some nature. So Ethan Hawke is in Gattaca. He's training to be. This is sometime later. He's trying to be an astronaut and go to Titan, or I think Titan, one of the moons of Titan. Somewhere. He's going somewhere. He's on a mission. He's training for his mission, and then the mission director gets murdered. And so Ethan Hawke has to go through all these processes to make sure he doesn't leave any dead skin around, hairs lying around. Lengthy, laborious process so that it has no DNA lying around anywhere. Again, Gattaca, A's and T's and CGs, everything about DNA. So when the guy gets murdered, during the investigation, they find a eyelash hair and his old picture of his old him pops up with his old him. The detective on the case, is Ethan Hawke's younger brother. Oh, intrigue. So Ethan Hawke's younger brother, who was born the right way and is in the elite class, is now looking for this murderer. And I don't recall. At some point, he begins to suspect that realize this is his brother, who is lied his way into Gattaca. And by golly, I forget what they call it. An invalid. He's an invalid. And then Alan Arkin plays the older, wiser detective that's working with Ethan Hawke's brother. This is all very good filmmaking, visually excellent acting, very good writing. I just love the bejesus out of this film. But Ethan Hawke is trying to continue to hide his identity while escaping from the law, which includes his own brother. And his own brother is half kind of trying to catch him, kind of trying to protect him at the same time. He's kind of looking the other way in some ways. His own brother doesn't know what to make of this. So since Ethan Hawke was, say, just out of high school type of thing, they haven't seen each other, and this is now, say, call it 15 years later. And so at one point they finally meet, and his older brother Ethan Hawke's younger brother is like, when our parents died, they thought you were dead. And Ethan Hawke's like, what do you think? He's like, I had my doubts. So his younger brother was always kind of his hardest critic and an ally in a certain way, and sympathetic to his cause in some ways. But from that point on, it's a runny, chasey. Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman are falling in love, and they're trying to do that. And then the younger brother is trying to solve the mystery of the murder. Then there's a bunch of side characters. Ernest Borgnine is in this, who's a lot of fun. He has a small role, but he's like the the lead janitor at the facility. Just a bunch of people. It's a movie that's a lot of fun. It's not an action blow your head back. It's not a shoot 'em up. It's a thinker of a film. It's a philosophical film that discusses, Ethan Hawke. Everyone's telling him time and time again that you're not capable of this. You're not capable of working at Gattaca because of how you were born. And yet and still he overcomes every obstacle to go be an astronaut. And again, strong parallels to World War II, to Nazi Germany, and just a really well written, really well directed, very well acted movie. If you haven't seen this, I recommend this to you, no matter who you are. And unless you're a complete jerk like that guy Eric over at Hey Internet Eric here, I think you'll like this film. Like, Eric wouldn't like this film, but his buddy Frenzy would. You can check them out at Two Bearded Losers as well. I like those guys. I'll do links in the description when I'm not as lazy. But Gattaca, go check it out. A great film. Maybe I'll do a part 2 where I discuss the spoilers. But I think today I'm just going to leave it at that. Fun film. Excellent acting, excellent writing, excellent everything, excellent score, fantastic score. This is up there with like Shawshank Redemption. Not quite, doesn't quite hit those heights, but a similar kind of. Here's your premise. It's character driven, a lot of fun. Jude Law's a lot of fun. So check out Gattaca. Recommended to anybody. And if you be like, safe fella, do the spoilers version and discuss the ending of the film, I will. So let me know what you think in the comments, all that stuff. Like, subscribe. If you feel like supporting my channel, I'm on Patreon and PayPal, but that's on Volk Party. But go look for it anyway. Throw me money, fucker, because I need to eat. Cheers.